How's everybody today? So there was some shouts out earlier for our veterans. Thank you all. So I'm going to ask another pointed question. How many prior service law enforcement are here? Besides me? Oh, yes, I know you. Yep. Thank you all as well. All right. So, some of you may know my name, some of you may know my work. My work is a blog called The View from Out West. You've been seeing probably some links on the Facebook pages to it. I'm going to do a caveat. I do not make a dime off that blog. It is not monetized. Not a thin dime do I make. And I'm not going to make any money on it because that's not what it's for. It's about for reaching out and getting the word out to people about stuff like this. So I'll start by saying that I, too, am a transplanted Californian. My wife, Pamela, and I moved here 3 years ago? Almost 3 years ago. And we settled in Carson City because, by golly, I'm getting close to retirement, and California taxes suck. I mean, let's set aside the laws and the regulations. The taxes suck. So we came here so that we wouldn't get taxed out of our minds in retirement, because once you retire, you only got so much money, right? Whatever you put away and then whatever the government deigns to give you out of Social Security off of somebody else's wallet. Who all knows that current Social Security disbursements are from current input? Right? There is no lockbox, there's no savings account, there's no trust account. What you and I are paying in Social Security now, for those of us who are still working, is going right out to recipients, to beneficiaries. So anyway, so we came to Nevada to get away from it. And Nevada is a state that was founded on fierce and rugged independence. I think we can all agree with that. We are battle-born here, are we not? Right? For generations, Nevadans have believed in limited government and only paying for things that government is supposed to be responsible for. Things like roads, a criminal justice system, and the key infrastructure that serves all Nevadans, like, oh, I don't know, maybe the water that comes out of our tap. Important things. Throughout the state's long history of boom and bust, thin or flush, the state and its citizens were able to persevere because government kept itself lean, focusing on necessity and not on social engineering experiments. Nevada once was proud that there was no income tax, no sales tax, no inheritance tax, no corporation tax, no gift tax, and that the state was debt-free. They used to have signs at the state line that said that. Got a picture of one on my blog if you care to go look, because I'm not lying. The only thing we have left now is no income tax. The state's $3.5 billion in debt. Where'd that happen, right? And that we still have no income tax, really, that could be in peril soon enough, given who's occupying the legislative building and the governor's mansion these days. The governor campaigned, to friendly audiences anyway, that tax increases would be necessary to fund everything that he and his fellow Democrats want to do. And it's no surprise that they've extended taxes that were supposed to sunset, and they've proposed new levies across several key areas. Who knew that he and the legislature are in the process of diverting $25 million annually out of the Roads and Highways account that gets funded by the GST? Who knew that? They're doing it. I guess roads don't matter. Yeah. So what do they want to do with all this money that they propose to raise? Well, they want to expand social programs and public assistance to people with no legal right to be here. I think they've made that pretty clear. They want to create more boards and commissions to oversee more aspects of the private lives and affairs of every citizen. They want to put meters on your wells. Your water well that you probably maybe have water rights for when you bought your property. Oh, we're going to have to meter that.
Not happening.
Well, thank you. Will not comply. That's the operative phrase here.
Yep.
They want to expand government. They want to expand the number of government workers, and they want to give those workers the ability to collectively bargain. Now, that last thing, that's the most scary. All you have to do is look over that hill, and you can see the effects of what 40 years of public employee collective bargaining has wrought. California is in a financial meltdown because they've increased headcount, they've increased pay and benefits. Oh, and then there's the pensions. California is not sustainable, and yet there they are. And that seems to be where the Democrats want to go here. Speaking of California, aren't we all speaking of California today? Our governor recently signed sweeping criminal justice reform, and this goes to Christie's point about her offender. And that's really what I used to investigate crimes against children. They are offenders. They need to be treated like offenders. Now, the criminal justice reforms are largely modeled on what other states, including California, have been doing for the last several years. Now, the proponents say that these reforms are going to save over $500 million in custodial and supervision costs over the next 10 years. Now, in function, these reforms make criminal justice a true revolving door. And if the experience in other states, thank you, if the experience in other states is any example, some types of crime here are going to go absolutely through the roof. San Francisco is the property crime capital of the country. I was born in San Francisco when it was a Republican town. Oh my God, I'm old. And you cannot move in that town without getting your car burglarized. Who remembers the shooting of Kate Steinle at Pier 14? Where did the gun come from? It came from the car of a Bureau of Land Management ranger, which got burglarized in San Francisco. It was stolen. That's what San Francisco is, and that's what's going to happen here. I mean, what's the definition of insanity, folks? Do the same thing over again and expect a different result? Yeah, that seems to be what we're doing. So that $500 million, I asked very pointedly, do you suppose they're going to give that money back that they don't have to spend? No, they're going to find someplace else to spend it. And then there's the subject of gun rights. Now, here I am. I've been a gun rights advocate for my entire adult life. Excuse me. I first got involved in this sort of stuff in 1982 when we had a thing called Prop 15 in California, which was essentially an outright ban of handguns. We beat that. We beat it hard. Could we do that now in California? Maybe not. But we did it, and that's where I started. And I went through the recall of Gray Davis in 2003. We got her done. Well, that's a different argument. So, as far as gun rights are concerned, gun rights are civil rights. A very good friend of mine, who's a practicing attorney over in California, came up with that a number of years ago. And he's absolutely right. Gun rights are civil rights. And if the calls and emails and opinion submissions to the legislature and the governor are of any indication, it's wholly out of step with the majority of Nevadans. I think it's wholly out of step with pretty much everybody here. Am I right? Yeah. So it really doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican, if you're a member of the third party, one of them, or if you're an independent. These issues and many, many more are what Nevada's future is riding on. What's going to happen, after all, when our current boom goes bust? As it inevitably will. Every boom period in Nevada has gone bust. It's a cycle. It goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. What happens when the gigafactory closes? when their tax holiday is over and Tesla runs out of money? What happens? What happens to the building boom that's going on all around us? Oh, it stops. Oh, it stops. Right? But all those government workers and programs are still going to have to be paid for. So the solution, when it all does come to bust, is going to be to either raise taxes. Who wants to raise taxes? No. Increase debt. You want to go farther into state debt? Not me. Right? Or both. And judging by how things go, it's going to be both. So what can we do about all this? That's why we're here, right? Recalling the governor may be a good start. The total solution is that we must take the legislature back from the progressives. We have to do this. They managed, with a lot of money from people like Michael Bloomberg and George Soros and Tom Steyer, amongst others, to turn the legislature from roughly a 50-50 mix 4 years ago to essentially supermajorities in both houses today. 2 election cycles, folks. 4 years they did that. We have to turn that back. Now, many are quick to blame Californians that are moving here and bringing their leftist votes. Yeah, okay, I'll sort of buy that. I'm not really into scapegoating, but okay. The reality on the ground is that we, who believe passionately in freedom, are not turning out enough voters. Data from the Secretary of State bears this out, and the fiercely independent Nevada voter who avails themselves of the none of these candidates option, which is a cop-out as far as I'm concerned at best, gives elections to the progressives. Attorney General Ford, right? Who knows what his margin of victory was in the election last year? Anybody? I'll help you. 4,000 votes statewide. 4,000. None of these candidates got 25,000. There's your problem in part. Now, regardless of your party affiliation, if you believe in less government, if you believe in lower taxes, if you believe in constitutionally protected civil rights, it is absolutely vital that you start hammering on your county central committees to identify and promote candidates who believe what you believe and who will have the guts to stand up and be counted, as all of us are here today standing up in what we believe. The Democrat and Republican parties can no longer do business as usual. The issues at stake are much too vital. Our current boom will not last. It just won't. It's bound to happen. It is up to each and every one of us to roll up our sleeves, get involved at our local level like we are here today, talk to Barney, sign up, get involved. Get our family, our friends, and our neighbors off their butts and into the polls. We have to take back the legislature, and we need to show Governor Sisolak the door. We need to start doing both right here, right now. And I thank you.